Why did the baker throw out his electric mixer after he adopted a pet cat? Because he now had all the whiskers he would ever need. Welcome to the stream, my friends. Happy Sunday. I hope you've had a fantastic weekend. Very grateful to have you here tonight, my friends. I'm very tired tonight. It might be a low energy stream. I did a lot of stuff today. I mowed our lawn and did some other various accompanying yard work. I grilled dinner and had to go out shopping for a bunch of things, and it's been a busy day. It's been a long day, but I'm very happy to be able to end it here with you. It'll probably be a shorter stream, both because I have been so busy, and two, because Jelly and I have a doctor's appointment pretty early tomorrow morning, and I'd like to sleep before it. So we'll probably try and wrap around the 4-hour mark. Might just be Jump King tonight. That's all I have planned. Depending on how this goes, if it takes a turn for the worse, if I fall back down to the bog, I might give up after a couple hours and play something fun in the last part of the stream. But if it goes well, it might just be Jump King all night long. We'll see. But let me welcome everyone in. Sorry, I'm ignoring everybody. Hello, my friends. Dead Zergling is first in chat tonight. We also have EpiPen TV, Uncle Muscles, MD, Subject Omega, Lucent Jelly, Sweesh. I think that's everyone. I'm reading the chat without my glasses on, so if I missed anybody, apologies. But thank you for being here. Welcome in. I'll see what everyone had to say. Uncle Muscles said, I was watching you play Battletoads from the last VOD. Hey, thank you for checking that out. Thank you. They really do put a big sprite in that game. It's disgusting. It's disgusting how huge the character sprite is. It's not that big of a deal on stage 3. The stage of the bowling pins. But on stage 1 and 2, it's not fun. And then on the stage 4, the turbo tunnel, you're tiny, so they weren't even consistent. The cycle of pain continues, Omega says. That it does. Oh, thank you for the GG on Pugsley. You really have that down? It's a hard game. It is tough. It is tough. So, for those who weren't here, we beat Pugsley Scavenger Hunt Friday night. And then Saturday afternoon, I did a bonus stream, and we got a 1 credit clear in Pugsley. 3 lives, 3 hearts, 1 credit. Very nice. I'm very, very happy. We got the 1 credit run first try. It was pretty quick. We had a ton of lives left at the end, so I didn't really get stuck and struggle anywhere for an abnormally long time. You know, I died several times, but it wasn't a victory like scraping by. It was actually a nice solid clear. Again and again. Hey, next, welcome in. A time to finish this today now that Pugsley is no more. Well, let's start pressing some buttons. I saw your post about some of the games you've been enjoying next, and I'm glad I'm not alone in my taste for jank trash games. It's nice to be in good company. So we'll see how this is going to treat us tonight. It'd be really nice to hit a new PB. We haven't done that for a while. I've gotten close. I've gotten close to our PB within the last few sessions, but It's, I don't know, it's been a week or two since we've, well, it's been like 2 or 3 weeks since we've actually set foot somewhere new. It's gonna be a weird week this week. I should be here tomorrow and Tuesday if nothing goes wrong. If nothing goes wrong on my end, I do plan to be here tomorrow and Tuesday. Not exactly sure what we're going to be playing. Gonna do some Warlock and gonna do some more of that Super NES Battletoads. Probably we'll do both of those on Tuesday. Not sure what we're gonna do tomorrow night. Ideally, I'd like to do something tomorrow night that I can sit down and complete in one session. I'll just throw on something random tomorrow night. Well, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to feel like tomorrow night, but right now, what I'm leaning toward is just to pull something trash out of my collection. Just pick something that looks real bad and just play it tomorrow night. Something that looks real bad that I think I can do in one night. Maybe that's it. That's what we'll do tomorrow, and then we'll do those other 2 games on Tuesday. So probably no NES Toads on Tuesday. Probably just Warlock and Super NES Toads. And then that's probably it. I don't think there'll be any streams Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I have other things going on. But we'll be back to normal next week. Should be pretty much every night again next week. It's nice we're getting some stuff, like, checked off our lists, too, right? We finished Pugsley, we finished Friday the 13th. So, we'll be able to start up some new stuff, which is good, I've got a couple jank games I've been planning on playing that are really summertime games, so now is good. I mean, it's almost July anyway. We always play a lot of jank stuff in July. Hey, Scrolllock, welcome in. One or both of us should go to sleep. Well, I vote for you in that case, because I'm not ready for bed. I just got here. I can't run away now. End the night with a 14-minute stream. I hope you've had a good weekend, Scrolllock. I hope you're doing well. What's next after Pugsley? So next Addams Family game, yeah, is Addams Family Values Super NES. And after that one, we're gonna loop back and we're gonna do some of the ones we've already done on different consoles. So there'll be there's a lot of Addams Family. So I played Pugsley on the Super NES. That's the that seems to be the version that's most notorious. There are ports of it on other consoles, but I haven't gotten to those yet. If you're gonna play Pugsley's Scavenger Hunt, though, the Super NES version seems to be the one that everyone's been playing that makes us all cry. One moment. Thank you for the coffee jelly, and welcome in, Greg's Retro Channel. Hope you are having a fantastic Sunday. No, Pugsley's is like, what would I compare it to? It's like, I guess it's like Earthworm Jim. You don't shoot anything. There's no shooting. It's just jump on the enemies. It's just walk through levels and just try to get to the end. Some of the levels have multiple like pathways through the level. But it's just big long levels. Just go through the level, meet a boss, fight the boss. Generic platformer, yeah. And so when I compared it to Earthworm Jim, I was trying to just think of anything like that's just a sort of standard action game. That was a bad comparison. So don't listen to that. No, it's not. The scavenger hunt is the plot, but you don't actually do any scavenger hunting. If you want to play a game, where you actually do a scavenger hunt, play Powerpuff Girls, Him, and Seek on Game Boy Advance. That game is great. That game is legitimately very good. I had tons of fun with that one. The stages are very well designed. In Pugsley, they're very well designed for brutality. I guess the stages are almost okay. They have a little bit too many enemies. There's a little bit too many enemies, and the stages are really long. But there's lots of secrets. The physics are terrible. The physics are terrible in that game. Are you ready for a Pugsley spoiler? Yeah, EpiPen. You can share with me a spoiler for Pugsley now. As long as it's for the Super NES version. Don't tell me about the other ones. Just the Super Nintendo. Because I'm still going to play the other ones. Oh, Greg, I'm sorry I didn't even see that. Thank you for the 100 stream streak, Greg. Fantastic. Hey, you made it. I was worried. I was gonna kill your streak. Hey, thank you. Trying to 100% run in Tears of the Kingdom? Good luck with that. Greg, you're number 3 to hit 100 streams. You're number 2 to do it officially, because Zergling got robbed. Zergling streak reset for no reason. Even though he was here every time. Tuesday hit 100 streams, and you're the third one to hit 100 streams. Very well done. It's absurd, Next says. Luckily you went to a sneaky stream. Yeah, I killed everyone's watch streaks. And I might do that again. By the way, if you're building watch streaks, just gonna let you know, you're probably gonna be disappointed because I had a lot of fun doing that earlier stream. I'm probably going to do more occasional, random early streams like that. I'll try to announce them a little bit ahead of time better, but I know that like when I shift my time, it doesn't work for a lot of people, so that's just going to have to be the way it goes on this stream. I mean, some streams don't even do watch streaks. At all, so you know you might lose them a lot around here, but at least we do them. It's Monday already for you, Scrollock. Right on. I'd compare Pugsley to Earthworm Jim, yes. Also Dennis the Menace on Super NES, Uncle Muscle says. I haven't played that one, but I've seen a few screenshots from it, and I think, yeah, I would guess that they're probably pretty similar. Yeah, it's real hard. It's a real hard game. Long stages, but never feels samey. Uncle Muscles says. Uncle Muscles is really making Pugsley sound like a good decision, and I cannot stress enough. I cannot stress enough that if you play that game, you go into it at your own peril. I already EpiPen, that spoiler, I already found that. Yeah, I know. I found that on my own. There's a place where you can hang out, and one of the cats will throw projectiles at you, but since you're above it, it counts as you jumping on them. And yeah, you get infinite points if you just hang out above that cat, and you can grind lives. It's pretty slow though. It's pretty slow if you wanted a whole lot of lives. But yeah, I found that. So that one's not even a spoiler for me. I didn't take advantage of it though. I didn't want to cheat. I did get one. I think I got two. I got 2 lives from that on my deathless run because I did figure I deserved something for finding it, but I didn't want to sit there and cheese it to get like 10 or 20 lives. I felt like that would have been not in the spirit of a challenge, right? And I didn't even need them. I didn't even need them. My lives never even got that low on the 1 credit run. I'll turn the volume in the game up a little bit. Maybe not that much. That'll probably be good. I'm trying to get to the top. In Mylon Secret Castle, the devs go, okay, you press start, you're on your own, now figure out the rest. Hey, I love those kinds of games. That's the way I want to play games. Figure out everything on my own. I don't need a bunch of spoilers from the devs. Trying to keep a streak isn't a big thing. No, I know it's not really a big deal, but I feel bad for someone to lose it when it's not their fault. Dennis the Menace is hard. The next, welcome in, Lord Malachite. Thank you for joining us. Next Addams Family game is Addams Family Values on the Super NES. I did beat Fester's Quest. No problem. Thank you for sharing, EpiPen. And thank you for holding off. Thank you for holding off until after the credits. I appreciate that. I'm going to sleep. Good luck. Hey, thank you, Scrollock. Have a wonderful rest and a fantastic tomorrow. Always good to chat with you. Oh yeah. Greg says, I agree with you, Frownie. I like when games let you figure out things on your own. And there's the thing, like, I know I can't always figure out everything, but I really want to try. Like I don't like giving up. And a lot of times like with Friday the 13th, more than one person told me that it was going to be impossible for me to beat Friday the 13th without looking up a playthrough on YouTube. And that game wasn't even that bad. It only took 4 nights. Wonder if this DLC is as long as DLC 1. It's probably at least that long. I can't look ahead and find out because I would consider that massive spoilers. But I think based on what we've seen, it's I would guess it's about the same length. Let me think. DLC 1, not counting if you don't count the part of the all right. So, let me see. DLC 1 starting from Greenland, you've got the Snow World, the Ice Palace, the Wind, the Pink area, the caves, the crystal area with the snake on top. Then you have the water, and then the final tower. So it's 8 environments. And here you have the bog, the ruined tower, the bug stalk, cat tower, phantom tower, halted ruin. So I've seen 6 areas in this one. There are 8 areas in DLC 1. I've seen 6 in this one so far. And I would think there's probably at least 2 more. So, yeah, I think they're probably close in length. But I don't know. I don't want to find out before I get there, you know. Beaten Addams Family on the NES, but not the SNES version. Never played Values on anything. It was a good film, though. I like both the 90s live-action films. Yeah, I think that I remember those movies being all right. I think I remember the second one. I think I remember Values better than the other one. The first one. Values is the one where they have a new baby, and they send the Wednesday and Pugsley off to summer camp, I think, if I'm remembering right. That's the one I remember better. I don't remember the first one very well. I'm gonna loop back around after we do values. After we do values on the Super NES, there's a Game Boy Color game we're gonna play, and then we're gonna loop back around, and I'm gonna do some of the NES and Game Boy games that have the same titles, but you know, different platforms, and hopefully they'll be easier. We'll see. Seen it, nothing was memorable for me for some reason, Uncle Muscle says. It was a lot of content. You did that fast? I don't know. I don't know. I'm at almost hour 74 on this DLC. I don't know if that's very fast. DLC 1 took me 92 hours. I did DLC 1 before I did the main game. I got confused on my first playthrough, and I did the DLC before I did the standard game. I had to go back for the standard game. It didn't seem bad. I had a rough time. I had a rough time with DLC 1. But it's all right. It's all right. We made it through, so now I can feel nothing but positive toward it. I actually feel pretty positive toward Pugsley's scavenger hunt too. Which may not be believable since I was just saying, I was just warning everyone that if you play it, then you're writing your own obituary. And I still feel that way. Like, I wouldn't recommend anyone else play it. I wouldn't recommend that anyone else play it, but my, like, personal feelings toward it are actually pretty positive now. I actually kind of like it. I actually kind of like it now. But I had to spend a long time with it to get to this point. And that's why it's hard to recommend it to anyone else, because if you just brute force your way through it just one time beginning to end, like if you like, especially like if you use save states or something like that, it's not gonna open up for you the way it did for me. Like, it grew on me because I had to play it so many times. I had to play it so many times that I started to appreciate it. So yeah, I would have to say I actually kind of like it. Yeah, that happens, Omega. That happens. Back at the grind. Welcome in, Gaming Fit. If I didn't think it were absolutely impossible, I'd even be tempted to go for a harder challenge in the game, but in Pugsley, right? 1 credit, 1 heart. That would take a lot more practice than I've put in, though, and I don't think I want to subject us. I don't think I want to subject us all to that. Yeah, 3 lives, 1 heart, 1 CC. Yep, that'd have to be the way to do it. No infinite lives trick. 3 lives, 1 heart, 1 credit, no infinite lives trick. I could never do it. I mean, I could do it someday, probably, but I'd have to practice so much. It takes so many tries. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Don't let me talk myself into it. I don't want to be a dedicated Pugsley streamer for the rest of my life. I want to play other games. It did grow on me. I look at that game kind of fondly now. I'm happy I played it. We had a good journey with that one. My cousin's already challenged me to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I was too far ahead in skills since it's their first day. I played cover for her, protected her from the shells, while getting first place to take the blue shell. Very sweet of you, Game and Fit. I lost count how many races I did a day. 20 maybe. Usually I get pain after 2 races, so this physical therapy seems to be paying off, Game and Fit says. That is fantastic to hear. After all the time you said I hate these games, these devs are evil, now you like the game? What? Greg says. I'm always like that, Greg. I'm always like that. I always hate a game until I beat it, and then when I beat it, I completely change my tune. Almost always. I still hate Genesis Battletoads. And, you know, I still don't like Earthworm Jim. So, you know, I still don't like Echo the Dolphin or Dr. Evil Knievel, but there are a lot of times where I really hate a game, and then when I beat it, I like it again. Like Jump King. I was so mad at Jump King. I hated Jump King so much, and now I love it. Now after I got to credits the first time, and then especially because I was able to get to credits again really fast. Like those two victories, I love Jump King. I will never hate Jump King again. I don't care if DLC 2 takes me 400 hours. I will never hate Jump King again. I do, that's what I was saying, EpiPen. I was saying I actually kind of like Pugsley now. It's actually kind of grown on me. I still don't recommend it. Because you have to suffer with the game a lot before you can start to like it. And I know most people will not be willing to do that. But I did, so now I do. If you play it like me, if you play it legit and you restart every time and it takes you a few nights, you might love it like I do too, but you'll have to be very unhappy for a lot of hours to get there. It looks like a good game, just an extremely difficult one. I love those old school platformers. It's still got really bad physics. The gameplay, like the character control, the slippery physics and the bogus hitboxes, I really can't defend. but I kind of got used to it. Like, I got used to it after a while. You just, like, you learn, like, what are areas that are safe to do fast, and where do you have to be careful, and you learn where, like, there are a lot of, like, bogus, like, beginner traps where you get surprised by damage, but, like, when you learn where those are, then it's not so upsetting anymore, so... It's not, like... It's hard. It's a game that's hard to have fun with because you have to get used to some really bad stuff. Oh yeah, yeah. The way the looking up can lock you in place, that's really bad too. It wouldn't be so bad if it didn't read from the diagonals. That's the only real problem. If Pugsley only looked up when you press directly up and not a diagonal, then it would probably be fine. There's really no point to ever look up. Nothing happens. The camera doesn't pan. So it's weird that they even put... It's weird they even put an animation in for that. For the up button. Been having a little of that with Home Improvement. I'm on break from that game now for some projects. Another game that I'd like to play that I think is kind of like Pugsley's Scavenger Hunt is The Mask on Super NES. Jelly and I played The Mask on Super Nintendo like almost 20 years ago, one afternoon, and it's a pretty bogus game, but we only got like, I think we only made it to like level 2, and I've always wanted to go back to it. I've never done that. So I think that could be a fun one to play too. Nah, I've never played Booger Man. I'd say Banjo-Kazooie's very scavenger hunty, especially DK64. I mean, any sort of collectathon, right? Kind of has that vibe. I did say, and I'll say it again, because I think I said it before you were here, Game and Fit. A good scavenger hunt game is Powerpuff Girls, Him and Seek on the Game Boy Advance. That game is a lot of fun, and that's the whole premise of that game, is a scavenger hunt. I like that game a lot. That was a really fun playthrough. I haven't seen The Mask played. Yeah, it's been on my mind. It's been on my mind. For a long time. I'd like to go all the way through that one someday. Streamca, welcome in. 15 streams. Hey, thank you for the 15 stream watch streak. I'm glad your watch streak is still alive, too. Because I did that random Saturday stream, and I don't remember who was here and who wasn't, but I'm pretty sure a lot of watch streaks died that day. Glad yours is still active. I always like Powerpuff Girls games where you could play as Blossom a lot, Lord Malachite says. So there are two Powerpuff Girls games that I think are pretty good, and they're both the GBA ones. Mojo Jojo A Go Go is, I think, less good. It's kind of like that one's like a on rails shooter type game. Like it's like a space shooter, I guess, but not in space. Um, and that one's okay. It's a little frustrating. It got a little frustrating toward the end. That one, but the other one, Him and Seek, I liked all the way through. The Game Boy Color games are pretty bad. The fighting game is really bad, and I think the PlayStation 2 game was okay. The PlayStation 2 game annoyed me because I really wanted to 100% it, and I missed I think I missed one collectible in the entire game. I missed one collectible, and I spent hours searching and trying to find it, and I couldn't find it. And then I even went and cheated, and I tried to look up where the collectible I missed was, and no one knows. I couldn't find it anywhere on the internet. I could find people, or maybe the same person. I could find someone asking about it, and on like game FAQs and Reddit and in YouTube comments. I don't know if it was it might have been different people, but I kind of think it was the same. I kind of think it was the same guy. I kind of think it was one person just asking everywhere on the internet where this one collectible. It's the same one I missed, where it is, and no one ever answered him. And I couldn't find any information about it. No one knows where it is. Yeah, I looked something up. It doesn't never happen. It just almost never happens. You know, I have a breaking point of, like, you know, if I get stuck for 4 or 5 hours, we'll look something up. But it didn't work. I couldn't find it. I was here off and on lurking. Right on. Always appreciated. I trusted you, Frownie. You were the chosen one. You were meant to stop the spoilers, not join them. It's like how I missed a single scan in Metroid Prime 2. There's no way to get it, and it's a one-time thing. See, I don't like that. When games are like that, where there are things you can miss, and that's what happened to me with Powerpuff Girls. I think is that game. It's Relish Rampage is the game on that. I played it. It's on everything from that generation. I played it on the PS2, but the game is divided into episodes, and some collectibles are only available on certain episodes, and you actually can go back and forth between the episodes, but it makes scouring the game for a missing collectible really hard, because there's just nothing that indicates which episode it might be hidden in. And the game is like, it has a very open kind of level map, like very, very open. So exploring everything is really tedious and difficult. It's a shame. But yeah, when there are collectibles that you can miss and you can't go back for, I don't even like trying to 100% those types of games. You know, like I want something like Yoshi's Island, where there's like a ton of criteria that you have to do, but you can go into the level over and over again and keep trying. You don't get locked out of anything. I hate missable collectibles. Hey, Bel Air Jeff, welcome in. Me too. Me too. I'm in good company. I'm in good company when you hate what I hate. Human, welcome in. Thank you for the lurk. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend. Ever feel like I beat a game if I don't get all of its collectibles and side content done? I lean that way. I'm not super strict about it. I do kind of judge on a game by game basis. I lean more toward 100% than not, but I mean it depends on the kind of games too. Like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I'm never gonna get all those Korok seeds. That's just never gonna happen. And like all the side quests, the little side quests that are just like a character tells you to go collect 10 of some item so you can get 50 rupees. Like I'm never gonna do all of those. Those are dull filler, and there's way too much of them. But in more like smaller focused games, you know, like I couldn't play something like Banjo-Kazooie and not 100% it, right? Like that kind of game of like that size and focus, and with the collectibles being available to you. Without you being able to get locked out of them, like that kind of thing, definitely want 100%. Definitely want to do something like that. I hate that 2 Game and Fit says you're at 68% through the game. You can't access another 2/3 anymore. Brutal. Yeah. I would not be a fan of that game. I would not be a fan of a game that did that to me. Unless it's a really short game, right? If it's a really short game, if it's the kind of thing that like you can 100% it in like 2 hours, all right, fine. I can live with a missing I can live with a missable collectible. I still won't be happy about it, but you know, like if I can turn around and do like a really quick run, sure. Another really good game that also, it's not quite a scavenger hunt, but it's kind of like one. Another really good game that I don't think enough people play is Dr. Franken on the Game Boy. That game is really good. It's an exploratory type game. Like you wander a big castle and you collect items and have to figure out where to take them, basically. And the game is janky and it is kind of brutal and it's really tough at first. Because it's easy to die, and you only have one life. If you die, it's curtains. You have to do the whole game all over again, which doesn't sound good. But once you get into the game and start to flow with it, like it's really good. It's a really good game. It's janky and brutal, but it's a lot of fun, and you definitely want to play it with pen and paper. You definitely want to play it with pen and paper because the in-game map is useless and it's a huge castle. You're going to want to map out your own castle. That game is fun though. I like that game a lot. You can get all the Koroks, but it would be Welcome Back to Tears of the Kingdom part 768. Yeah, we already played that game for nearly 300 hours on the stream. I think we're good. I would go back to Tears of the Kingdom like one more night, especially now that it's been a long time. I thought about doing it on the anniversary of the release, but I missed it. But I would go back to it, um, and just spend a night like getting some extra armor that I missed, and just have a sort of a chill wandering night with the game. I think that could be fun. But we're pretty much done. I'm not a fan of 100% completion, Jeff says. I get burnt out by the end. Often find myself not enjoying myself. I usually get to the credits, play enough to feel satisfied. Yeah, I like the thrill of the hunt for all the for 100% completion. I like to think I'm a completionist until I try to complete a game, Game and Fit says. Baldur's Gate 3 does missable content right due to the choose-your-own-adventure structure. Makes all your choices feel worthwhile. Yeah, I guess that's a different kind of scenario, too, where, in a game that has, like, meaningful choices that affect your path, you kind of necessity need missable content. Everyone loves Baldur's Gate 3. I admit it's a quality game. I just absolutely dread getting into battles in that game. It happens all the time, Game and Fit says. It's the best part, Jeff says. Depends on the game, though. Definitely true. Prefer to just skip combat entirely and just enjoy the story? I know I'm weird, but there it is. Oh no, Game and Fit. That's the opposite of me. This game has my favorite video game story, not even lying. Jump King has the best story. There is a smoking hot babe at the top. Perfect, beautiful. That's all I need. That game feels like when someone engages in battle, they pull out the chessboard and just start moving the pieces. I wish I was good at chess. I'm very much not. I don't have the kind of brain. I don't have the kind of brain that chess requires. If I want story, I'll read a book or watch a movie, Greg says. Precisely. That's the thing, like, that's... I don't hate reading in video games because I hate to read. Reading, like, I enjoy reading, but I don't want to do it when I'm playing a video game. And I really don't want to watch a cutscene when I'm playing a video game either. Because I don't want my control taken away from me. I play games for an active experience, so like anytime the experience becomes passive, I'm not having fun anymore. Passive entertainment can be fine, but it's not what I want when I'm playing a game. Struggling. I'm struggling. I'm really rusty with some of these jumps that, you know, like, I mean, I struggle all the time. I'm never like really that good, but I don't know. I feel like I should have made it higher up than we have tonight with how long we've been playing. No. It's all just practice until then. This the environment, like the world of this DLC, does seem a bit more it does seem a bit more sinister this time. I mean, the world of Jump King is always kind of sinister. Like all the characters that you meet are either like hopelessly pessimistic or they have lost their minds or both. But I feel like there's even more of that on this pathway than there was on the other two. Things are fine here. Like, there's lots of feline friends, and you know, this environment here is kind of warm and cozy. But like down below in the bog, like the guy at the very bottom and the purple guy, who's just a little bit above that, are both like very unsettling characters. And up above, the gargoyles are like they're super negative too. So I don't know. There's a lot of negativity on this map. It's a little oppressive. I hurt my thumb today too. It's irritated as I play. I used my thumbnail to cut a piece of tape on a box, and when I did that, like the edge of the box like slid like too deep up under my thumbnail, and it's been uncomfortable ever since. And it's been a few hours and it still feels bad. And it feels extra bad when I press buttons with it with my thumb. Very Dark Souls-esque. The only optimist is you and maybe one other person. Yeah, that's what I've made that comparison before too, and like yeah, when I've said that the environment of this game feels a lot like the environment of Dark Souls. I mean, you know, one, just because it's kind of like, you know, like sort of ruined, like grim, grimy, like fantasy environment, like, so of course they're kind of similar, but also just like the world's very empty, and yeah, all the characters are either hostile or insane. It feels a lot like Dark Souls. I like that kind of environment in the game. I like a game that's not afraid to have like areas that are kind of quiet and lonely and desolate. Like Castlevania 64. Another beautiful game. It's got long stretches of like quiet, lonely environments. It's beautiful. Gonna make some tea right on. I'm, as usual, having my coffee and quite enjoying it. Yeah, it is my left thumb. It is my left thumb Game and Fit. But it actually doesn't matter which thumb it is, because I'm using them both just about as frequently. Of course it was my left thumb, because I'm left-handed. I'm like aggressive. I'm like aggressively left-handed. If I were to lose my right hand, I might not notice for a couple days. I guess assuming I didn't stream. kinda need both your hands to play games. I could lose a few fingers off my right hand though, and might not notice for a couple days. Whenever I eat something, like if I eat a piece of steak, whenever I eat something that I have to cut, here's the thing. I pick up my fork and knife. Fork in the left hand, knife in the right hand. And then it's like I need to cut off a bite to eat. So I have to trade hands with my utensils. So now knife in the left, fork in the right. And then I use the fork to hold the steak in place. And I cut a piece off with the knife. And then I have to switch the utensils back. Fork in the left, knife in the right, so that I could use the fork to bring the bite of food up to my mouth. And then when I want another bite, I gotta switch them because the active part has to be done with my left hand. So if I'm cutting, it has to be my left hand. If I'm lifting the food to my mouth, it has to be my left hand. Whatever is active has to be my left hand. So I'm constantly switching hands with my utensils when I eat. And I've done that my whole life, but I'm aware of it because Jelly pointed it out to me a long time ago. But it's never going to change. You do that. You do that with your but with your right hand. Thank you for the stretch break, Greg. Yeah, we can do that. Hopefully nothing is embarrassingly out of place down here. I put the knife down when I put the food in my mouth, Jeff says. I just stage the knife in my inactive hand when I'm not using it. The game of it, you don't switch hands. Tried the Hawaiian barbecue place today. Got a plate with salad, ribs, chicken, and beef. Delicious. Sounds good. Alright. So, stretch time. That's a, I was wondering what that box was in the background. That's a, Super Mario air hockey board. I do play guitar in what is considered the right-handed style. Where I use my left hand for fretting and my right hand for picking. But it makes more sense to me to play the guitar like that when you're left-handed. Because I feel like fretting is the more difficult work. And I want to have my smarter hand assigned to the more difficult task. So I've always thought it weird. It seems to me like the left and right-handed styles are opposite of what they should be anyway. Guitar is so much fun, Game Input says. I'm currently learning Big Blue from F-Zero on the keyboard. I like playing around with the keyboard. I can't actually play the keyboard, but I can kind of fake it a little bit. Because I know enough music theory to understand how the keyboard works, and I can find chords fairly quickly, so I can kind of fake like I can play songs. But only if you it's only convincing to someone who doesn't play. My charade is very see-through. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun to mess around with. To just really just sort of hit the chords on rhythm and sing over top of it. In the same way, I don't read notes, I just play by ear. I know how to read music, but I'm very slow at it. I can read simple music. I know what all the symbols mean. But I do get confused if there's a whole lot of simultaneous notes. I'm never really sure like what the best, like which notes should be played with which fingers, like what the best like sort of position for your hand is. That really trips me up. I do well with a piece of sheet music that just has the melody on the staff lines, and then just the letter for the chords up above. Like basically like like vocal accompaniment type sheet music. I can do all right with that. The really simple stuff. Most cases, a lot of the best songs are very simple to play. Not always, but most of the time, Game and Fit says. I mean, if you... depending on what you're... I don't know. It's hard. Like, that's... If we're talking about like most like sort of like kind of like pop tier or rock or like just sort of basic rock type music, then pretty much. Hey Chozo, welcome in. Needs NES Adams Family. Eventually, Chozo. We're gonna get to that one. We've got to do Adams Family Values next, and then we'll loop back around and do some of the 8-bit games. First song I ever learned on guitar was Helena by My Chemical Romance when I was like 13. I've heard the name, I don't actually know the band. What was the first song I learned? Probably, I guess the first song I learned on my own was, I think Scarborough Fair by Simon and Garfunkel. Which I think is actually called Canticle, technically. But... it's that song. All the first songs I learned were Simon and Garfunkel tunes. I was in a classical guitar ensemble, Jeff says, and jazz band in high school. Haven't read music in years. I've probably forgotten most of it. I wish I could play that kind of stuff on the guitar. That I'm really bad. Like mostly even with the guitar, I'm I'm pretty worthless for like lead and melody. I'm really I'm really a rhythm guitarist and mostly a cowboy chords kind of guy. I can do a little bit of fancier stuff, but it's mostly just like sitting on the porch, sitting by the campfire type level music that I do. I play just enough guitar to accompany myself. I play just enough guitar to accompany myself while I sing, really. Is what it is. Big Blue is a complicated song, Game and Fit says. Most of the keys are the black keys. Values is very nice. Yeah, so actually we're gonna do Adam's Family Values, and then there's a Game Boy Color game, and then we're gonna do NES and Game Boy games. I probably won't do the Genesis games. We'll see. It depends. If I get through the other stuff really quickly, maybe I'll make a run through some of the Genesis titles, even though they're duplicates. But don't hold your breath for that, because I also said I might do the Genesis Bubsy games, and we never did those. Alright, so yeah, Scarborough Fair / Canticle. Thank you, Lord Malachite. That was the first song I learned how to play on the guitar. At least the first one that I learned, like, on my own, like, because it was a song I wanted to learn. Because I learned how to play the guitar when I was in, like, 2nd grade. When I was in 2nd grade, my dad gave me a guitar and taught me how to play it, like all the chords and how to do basic rhythms. But it really wasn't in high school that I actually found music that I wanted to play and really started playing. Alright, let me catch up real quick. MCR is a good band. Sadly, lead singer has all the control over for some reason, Chozo says. I can play parts of songs, not really a full song in one go. Folk songs and whatnot. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Every bad video game you play should get its own song by Frownie, Chozo says. I'm not much of a songwriter. I'm more of a mimic. I'm not super original. You mentioned like shorter games. I'd recommend a Metroidvania called Zeo Drifter. Not a particularly long or large game. Minimalistic and fun. Is it a new game or an old game? Game and Fit. What platform is it available on? What console? I didn't even know there was a Game Boy one. Yeah, there's a couple. There's a couple Game Boy Adams Family games. So we're gonna do those. It's a Zeo Drifter's amazing, Chozo says. Super cheap. Less than $5 almost all the time. Why not? So I'm familiar with whichever version, Lord Malachite. I'm probably most familiar with whichever version ended up on their greatest hits album or best of album. I really liked Simon and Garfunkel for a good long time. I mean, I still do, but I've never really explored like their discography album by album. I've always just been a greatest hits guy. I like the song. I like Garfunkel's song "Crying in My Sleep" from his after they split up from the solo portion of his career. I like that song too. Solid game. Some of the best songwriters of all time could barely play their instruments, Jeff says. Scavenger Hunt Blues. I'm way behind on the chat. Let me read for a few minutes here. Daniel Seal doesn't amount to songwriting talent. I'm waiting for that Agent Frownie solo debut. The best you would get out of me at some point, would be sort of a lyric rewrite, something along the lines of like Weird Al. Only Simon and Garfunkel song I really know is "Bridge Over Troubled Water." Yeah, primarily because Elvis covered it. I don't know if I know his version. It's a modern game on the Switch. Older game. It was on the Vita. It's on everything. It's a Metroidvania. I'm not going to make any promises for it, but it's not impossible. Miss Robinson, Sound of Silence. Yep. Those are ones I learned how to do too. Power Stone. I don't think I know that, Omega. But it's inspired your idea for a fighting game? And yeah, Sound of Silence. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've sang that on the stream before, too. That line. I bust that out every now and then when I'm feeling particularly pained. Do you like Roy Orbison? I do. I'm not really familiar with a lot of his work. I probably know him best from the Traveling Wilburys. I really like that album. And I know a few of his. I know a few of his hits as well. I like his voice. He's got a really good voice. It's kind of eerie though. Sometimes it's kind of eerie listening to Roy Orbison because there's that one song, Not Alone Anymore, on the Traveling Wilburys, and I know he died like shortly after making that album, and that song is kind of eerie, like knowing that, because the quality of his voice in that song, like it's like, it may be insensitive, but he sounds kind of like a ghost when he sings that song, and I'm like, I know he died not that long after this, and it is spooky. Oh. He always had a heavenly tone. But yeah, I like it. I like him. I would get into more of his stuff if I had the time at some point. It would be worth exploring. Really dig the reprise of Sound of Silence on the Graduate soundtrack. Somber version is so nice. I might have to listen to that too. I might have to listen to that soundtrack. You think it'd be good based on my preferences, but you're not in a hurry. Right on. I do appreciate. I always like when someone puts a game on my radar, but it's just I can never. I'm slow to get around to anything. There's so much to get through. Pretty Woman, Only the Lonely, You Got It. Yeah, all good. Did Pugsley make you feel that darkness was your only true companion? That's the kind of game to get you there. When I wishlist a game on Switch, it usually goes on sale within the same month, unless it's Nintendo or Square Enix. Thank you, Chozo. Thank you. You know what? Here we go. I'll go. Well, no, I won't. I was gonna say I'll go wishlist it right now, but I can't because I'm using the Super Nintendo controller, so I don't have a home button. So I can't. I was gonna say I'll go wishlist it right now, but if you have a moment, Game and Fit, if you want to whisper me, just whisper me the title, Zeo Drifter. I'll that would be a good reminder. I'll wishlist it after the stream and keep an eye on it. Or Chozo if you want to. Just anybody. If you're able to send me a whisper real quick. Oh, we have a raid coming in from Sark. I'm so far behind in the chat. Hey, Sark, welcome in. I'm so far behind in the chat, I didn't even see you. Thank you for the raid, my friend. How did Final Fight go? I hope you've at least got another Chivo. I mean, I'd love to hear you badged it. I was lurking in there earlier when you said something about you have 2 Chivos left to go, but you've been working on them for like 3 weeks. Oh, no, that's not what I want to read. It went terribly. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hey, welcome in. We just got a new follow. Thank you for joining us. I haven't seen your name in the chat yet, so I'll let you be anonymous if you would like, but I am grateful for you. Thank you for that. And welcome in Nos Paulatu. Welcome in. Thank you for coming along thank you for coming along with the raid. Shout outs to Sark, everybody. If you somehow don't know our friend Sarconius, please use the link that's about to appear in the chat. Give Sark a follow. One of my absolute favorite streams. Sark is a hero. He is a titan of retro achievements, and he plays fantastic games. He plays horrible games. He is no stranger to suffering. He's a big fan of Pugsley's Scavenger Hunt. Among many other games. Please use that please use that link. Give Sark a follow while we're sitting here at Chin Wagon. I don't think it came through. I don't think my sarcasm came through. Please don't spread such filthy lies. I was saying earlier. I guess you didn't hear it, Chozo. I was saying earlier. I actually kind of like Pugsley Scavenger Hunt now. I actually kind of like it. I would never recommend anyone play it. I would never recommend anyone play it, but like I spent so much time with it. It took me so long to beat it that I kind of got used to how bad it is. And on like run like 4, I was actually starting to have fun on some of the levels. That might be too far. Dane Bread, welcome in. uh, thank you for joining us. But after you accept how bad the physics are, and like where the like bogus like surprise damage happens, and you know where a few of the shortcuts are, like I don't know, it's you can kind of have something that feels like fun when you play the game. But don't play it. I only feel that way because it took me so many nights to beat it, and I kept restarting the game from zero every time because I'm stuck on real hardware. So I had to restart from zero every time I turned the game off. Uh, that's the only way I got to like accepting the game. But I kind of liked it. Because after we beat it, so we beat that one. We beat it Friday night, and then yesterday on Saturday, I did a bonus stream, and I got a 1 credit clear on it. We did three lives, 3 hearts, no no infinite lives grinding. Just the start with 3 lives, 3 hearts, 1 credit, and I actually got it first try. It wasn't that bad since I'd played the game so many times before. uh, Frownie's gonna play Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero and end up loving it. It's a beat 'em up with platforming. So Battletoads. You can have something that feels like love with Stockholm Syndrome that doesn't make it good. Yeah, I've been accused. I've been accused of that. I've been accused of being in that condition many times. Let me just take a moment here because I missed a lot of the chat from before the raid. I'm gonna sort of quickly read. Subject Omega has taken inspiration from something called Sonic Battle. Jeff is a big fan of Roy Orbison. It's someone you can beat Zeo Drifter if you know the game in about an hour. So Frownie's first playthrough will take about 200. That sounds about right. I forgot he was in the Traveling Wilburys. I hope I got that right. I hope I'm not confusing him with someone else. 3D Smash Brothers with HP. Collect funny rocks to use super transformation. Thank you, Lord Malachite. Yeah, thank you for putting that in the Discord. I'll check it out. Yeah, thank you, and thank you for the whisper. I'll put that on my Bubsy 3D now has a portrait on his wall. Chozo says, I liked Bubsy 3D. Bubsy 3D is a terrible game, but my playthrough of it was real fun. I had a lot of fun. Like, I can't hate Bubsy 3D. I had so much fun playing it. I can't hate a game that gave me so much joy. I did a complete playthrough of Bubsy 3D for those who weren't here for that. Like, if I can brag a little bit, I did all the bosses and the final stage damageless. I did all the rockets. I did 200 atoms on every stage, even though the game doesn't even track those. I did Bubsy 3D as complete as I could. I had a lot of fun with that game. I hope this isn't a mistake, but I think I'm going to jump down here. Okay. I did that on purpose because I'm scared of falling out on the left-hand side. And I think I've had a better shot of that not happening if I restart this area. I had fun until the final boss, Chozo says. That final boss is disgusting. Polly and Esther are horrible. And trying to do that damageless was not something I should have subjected myself to. Any PB here. So my PB is about 3 screens up. I have never seen what's above the Halted Ruin. I've made it about 2 screens. I made it about 2 screens above the gargoyles. It's been a while since I've achieved a new PB in the game, actually, because I've been playing it a lot more infrequently lately. Jump King here. We're on DLC 2 of this game. I've been at it for 75 hours. My history of Jump King is this. I completed DLC 1 on my first playthrough before I beat the main game, and it took me 92 hours. It was horrific. It was horrific. Then I went back and did the main game, and I did it in 4 hours. I really should have done that first. And now DLC 2, I'm at hour 75. I've been at it for a while. I love Jump King, though. This is one of my favorite games. It's really high up there for me. I hated Jump King for a long time. I was in deep pits of hopelessness and despair in Jump King. I never thought I would see the light of happiness ever again. But I have to say, like, reaching credits a couple times has completely turned me around. Beating a couple of the maps in this game have rekindled my love in a big way. That I can be this deep into a playthrough on a map this difficult and still be full of hope and joy and positive emotion. Even as I lose all of my progress. I love this game. He said through tears. Are you going to, I don't know if I should ask this, Sark, because I don't want to, I know it's a sensitive subject, but I want to know if you're gonna finish Ghostbusters. I hung in there for as long as I could the other night. It seems absolutely dreadful, though. Tommy, welcome in. Nighttime Frownie, my favorite. Thank you for joining us. I calmed down after the stream, watched a video, did it the next attempt off stream, wasn't about to plague my stream with that game for another day. Oh, so you do have it knocked out. Right on. That was rough. That was rough. That's an ugly game. We're talking about Ghostbusters on the NES, for those who might not know. Sarka, major GG's. Just did the retro achievements for that, and it was a disgusting nightmare. Yeah, yeah. That game's pretty terrible, casually. That was, that's my, when people ask what my first video game was, that's my answer, is Ghostbusters, but the Commodore 64 version, which I think is better. I've played a little bit of the NES game, and I've seen a lot of it, but I haven't ever beaten it myself. But I think the C64 version is a little better. It's still a terrible game. But yeah, that's my answer. And it's maybe true when I say that. I'm actually... I started playing video games, like, when I was so young. I don't actually have memories of, like... I don't know what my first video game was. They've just always kind of been there. But it was maybe Ghostbusters. That or maybe Donkey Kong. It was definitely a C64 game. All of my first video games were Commodore games. And Ghostbusters is the funnier answer, so that's the one I give. Because what a game. And we did actually beat it once. And I say we, though I was minimally a participant. But me and my dad did actually clear Ghostbusters on the C64 once when I was a kid. Only once, as I recall. Lex wins. Oh. I had the Sega Master System version, which, from what I've seen, is kind of similar to the Commodore. I think the Master System version is the best one, Malachite says. Gameplay loop isn't awful, but it requires entirely too much grinding to have a decent shot at getting up the stairs. The stairs and the final boss are horrendous, and I'll have one attempt at it before having to grind it all again is just torture. Yep, that's why I never made it through. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? Because the Commodore is keeping up with you. I don't actually... I'm guessing that that's one of the slogans from the advertisement. I don't actually remember that. But it sounds... Yeah, it sounds like that must be what it is. That sounds like... Yep. I kind of keep up with the Commodore a little bit. I haven't played it in a very long time. I don't actually have, so I do a lot of stuff on real hardware. I kind of like... I have a fairly decent like collection of retro games. I got into physically collecting retro games really early when they were all trash. No one cared about them, and they're all dirt cheap. You could get a whole box of them for just a few dollars. And so I scooped up a bunch of games a long time ago, back in the 90s. And so I stick to real hardware for a lot of the stuff that I do. The Commodore 64 is not one of those cases. I use a C64 Mini when we play those on the stream, which is adequate. I don't have the time or money or technical know-how to maintain like a retro PC or microcomputer. Like they've got belts that need to be replaced and moving parts that I mean, consoles need maintenance too, but sometimes, but I don't know. I just can't bring myself. I just can't bring myself to add an actual Commodore, especially now, like, because stuff is expensive now. Mine is Super Mario World, Chozo says. First stage of the water got me a game over. I was like 3, Chozo says. Ghostbusters on the Genesis is fun. Yeah, so I haven't beaten that game, but we did play it once on the stream, like 2 years ago. I've never gone back to it, and I really should. That one's pretty alright. It's a little janky, but so is almost everything I play. Need to take off for the night? Good luck, Frownie. Thank you for the good luck, Game and Fit. Have an excellent rest of your night. I appreciate your company, my friend. Like the bobblehead art style in the Genesis game? Yeah. Very effective. A hard game, but a fun one. The one game that's better on the Master System is the Ghostbusters, Chozo says. I actually haven't played any Master System games yet. I'd like to play that sort of Zelda lookalike on the Master System. The Golden Axe Warrior. I'd like to play that someday. And I don't know what else. I'm not really well versed in its library. There's a Ghouls and Ghosts, I think, on the Master System. That'd probably be worth playing. It sounds mildly threatening. It does. I played last year. I played a new release on the C64 last year. It's a game called Lester. It's a Metroid type game on the C64. I think it came out in January of last year. It's really good. If you like modern C64 games, can definitely recommend it. It's very impressive. It's almost always the laser in a disk system, Chozo says. Yeah. My one of my GameCubes has a laser that's getting kind of weak. I have trouble with it. I saw a thing online about how you can adjust it, but you have to be real careful. I haven't been bold enough to perform the operation. Since I have a backup GameCube anyway, it hasn't been worth it yet. First game of mine was Mario Party DS, Omega says. Zelda clone that in some ways is better than the OG Zelda. I'm not a huge fan of Zelda 1. I don't think it's bad, but I have a lot of mixed feelings about like some of the crypticness of Zelda 1. And the dungeons are very combat heavy in Zelda 1. I have a hard time with that too. Maddie Boom Batty, welcome in, Maddie. Like Sark said, you jump in this game. Yeah, Jump King is amazing. There is only jump. But technically there's also fall, but we try not to focus on that part. The game emphasizes the falling enough. No need to shine more lights on it. I really like this game. It is a brutal troll game. So, like, it's a hard game to recommend, generally speaking, but I do really like it. I love the simplicity of the concept. I like the punishing nature of the game. I like the aesthetic and the world, the whole vibe of this, like, it's got a very, like, Dark Souls kind of world to it. This sort of, like, I don't know, like, post-apocalyptic fantasy kingdom where everyone is, like, everyone that you meet is, like, hostile and or insane. And it's got, like, a lot of moments of, like, quiet solitude. It's a contemplative game. I know very little about Sega because we were always Nintendo and Sony, Chozo says. Yeah, after the C64, like, that was it. That was the only non-Nintendo thing I ever really experienced as a kid. Because we had the C64, we briefly had an Atari 2600, which I remember owning, but remember nothing about. I don't know a single game we had for the 2600, but I know we had those paddle controllers, so we must have had, like, Pong or tennis or something. But I couldn't say with confidence. But then we got an NES, and it was just all Nintendo stuff for me for the rest of my life. I had a cousin who had a Game Gear, and I had an aunt who had a Genesis, and her only game was Sonic Spinball. And then in high school, I made friends with a guy who had a PlayStation. And we didn't play a lot of PlayStation games. We played Bushido Blade, which is an amazing game. But that's about it. I had very little. I've played more Sega and Sony games on the stream than I ever encountered ever before in my life. Double Dragon is better on the Master System? Double Dragon on the NES is tough. I had a hard time with that one. Golden Axe Warrior isn't janky enough for you? You need Golden Axe Battler? That one I haven't heard about. Is that also a Master System game? Tenth Enemy has the bomb. The other one I think has amazing exploration, but everything else aged kind of bad, Chozo says. Dungeon music hurts my ears. Crystalis is better than Zelda 1. Crystalis is pretty good. I love both. They have their ups and downs. It's like Mario, but you go up. Beat it for the first time last year. I forget which level it was, 6 or 7. Almost gave up. Bushido Blade mentioned. Bushido Blade is awesome. I love that game. It's barely a game. It's really just kind of a tech demo, but it doesn't matter. It's so much fun. Double Dragon 2 is the only one I liked. I haven't been brave enough to play any of the other ones yet. I had Bushido Blade 2 on a burnt disc for the PlayStation. What a difficult game. I know I've played the second one. I don't remember liking the second one as much as the first, but I also haven't revisited it, so my my actual feelings have to remain sort of up in the air until I give it another go. Double Dragon on the Master System has 2-player co-op. That's a nice feature, but it does very little for me. I'm always playing alone. Axe Battler, A Legend of Golden Axe. It's for the Game Gear, Zergling says. Well, maybe we'll have to do a... Maybe we'll have to take a look at it. If I can figure out how to play a Game Gear game on this stream. I think I have an emulator on the Wii that will play Game Gear games, actually. Yo, Capcom, give us a new Power Stone. It's fun, but I'm not a big fan of 3D fighting games like that. I'm not really into fighting games in general, myself. I had fun with Killer Instinct when I was a kid. I was never good at it, but my cousin had it and we'd play it together sometimes, and it was fun. I got a little bit into Street Fighter 4 for a while, super casually. It was one of those things where all my coworkers were playing it, so I kind of had to get into it. And is that it? I mean, I like Super Smash Brothers. I like Bushido Blade, like I mentioned. I think there was one more. I think there was one more fighting game I was gonna say, and then I lost my train of thought. My genre is mostly like I'm mostly a platformer guy. The overwhelming majority of the games I play and the games I like are platformers. I do like sort of adventure type games like Metroid style games or like Zelda type games. I mean, I play a lot of I'll play a lot of different stuff. Like I will play stuff that isn't within my wheelhouse of taste, but my experiences run pretty thin outside of platforming and adventure games. Fighting games, racing games, any kind of sports game. I'm real weak in those areas. I'm real weak when it comes to like RPGs. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is my other fighting game. Another Street Fighter 4 player. Yeah, but I mean, take that with a big asterisk by it, Omega, because I was super casual with Street Fighter 4. My main is Dan. I liked I think her name was Juri. Juri? She had kind of a spider theme about her with a lot of the color purple. Yeah, Taekwondo, South Korea. And their mains are Abel and Ryu. I don't know if I could play this jumpy game. I feel like I would cry from falling so much. It's I've felt the onset of tears on many occasions. It's to be expected. Oh, that's not right. That's not right. That jump is supposed to be basically free. Missing that one hurts. falling down. So the thing is, when I fall, like you see a huge fall like that, or I go down several screens, I really can't complain if I have a huge tumble like that. If it's on the right-hand side of the screen, that's okay. If I fall down the left-hand side of the screen, if I fall on that side, I'm going to be all the way back at the beginning of the map. So, like, as bad as a fall on the right-hand side looks, it is in every way preferable. If I fall on the left, the night is over. Because I have to restart I basically restart the game when I fall on the left. That channel is open. It's not open all the way down to the very bottom, but it's open so far down and above some... my chances of saving myself are virtually non-existent. If I fall on that side, I will be back at the start, because it's happened several times. I know I lack the skill to save myself when I fall on the left. There really are no checkpoints in this game. There are a couple ledges where you're less likely to lose progress, but there's nowhere where, like, you get to a spot and you can say, okay, I'll never be lower than this. You can always end up back at the very start, no matter how high you are up. Yeah, safety is merely an illusion. And not really a convincing one either. So my first trip through this game, it took me 92 hours to get the credits, like I mentioned. But a part of that was because the game is so brutal that, like, it was really hard to play the game consistently. So I would take really long breaks, and I would play it really inconsistently, and I'd have a lot of downtime where I rusted and lost my, like, skill and familiarity. And by the time I came back to it, and also it's just really hard. It's just really hard. So it took me a long time, but consistency is really key with this game, because I eventually got to a point where I made a recommitment, and I vowed to play the game every night for 2 hours a night. And when I did that, by night 3, I was making progress to parts I'd never seen before. So the short, regular sessions is typically the way to go with this game. If you're like me. It does let you keep your items, though. You have an inventory full of items they're almost all of them completely useless. The only one that has any worth at all is the snake ring. Everything else is cosmetic and or useless. So far as I've been able to discover. A good thing to keep in mind when you listen to me is I play everything with a very, very strict blind policy. So typically the only things I know about a game are things I've been able to figure out on my own through gameplay, and I'm very frequently wrong. So take everything you hear me say with a grain of salt. I like that screen. The screen that we just passed there. Oh, this... Never mind. The screen with the birds and all the, like, mountain peaks moving in the background. I like that. I like that screen. It's a nice calm area where you get to stop listening to the music in this area, but the music in the next area hasn't started yet. And I like that moment of quiet we get to enjoy there. But why? I'm not used to missing that one. Sadly, I am used to missing that jump. It seems like it should be simple, right? Because, like, the platforms don't move. In fact, I don't think we've ever encountered a moving platform in the game. Has anything ever moved? Huh. I can't think of any place where any of the platforms move. So, you would think it would be easy then, right? Because, like, if the platforms don't ever move, the solution is the same jumps every time. But the muscle memory is just not there for me. Yeah, it does have like the window for success is very narrow. So you do have to be very precise with how much you charge your jumps. And there's nothing to indicate, how charged you are except for your own internal sense of timing. And like I like to think I have a fairly decent sense of timing. I like to think that. I don't know that I can prove it, though. You shouldn't think that anymore. I'm gonna keep thinking it. I think it's a comforting lie to believe. Oh my goodness. Undershoot, overshoot, undershoot, overshoot. Overshoot. Undershoot. Oh my goodness. What? Are you playing the game or is it playing you? A little bit of both. Mostly the one. Less of the other. Oh. Alright. Another tower run. Another tower run. No, why was... Game wants to drink my tears. It can have them. The game can have all my tears. It can have my tears until it drowns. Oh, here's some revenge. I shouldn't have said that. Hey, remember when I said that if we fell on the left, we were going back to the beginning of the game? Well, I've got good news for everybody. If you missed any part of our playthrough, you are about to have missed nothing. I miss Pugsley. Soul crushing. It's alright. It's nowhere we haven't been before. I mean, I've fallen back down to the bog so many times that, like, I've honestly lost count. I don't have any idea how many times I've been all the way back down to the bog. Bug stock music fits perfectly. Hold your breath, everybody. Oh, thank goodness. Crisis averted. Crisis averted. We flirted with disaster, but we made it back. We're back here for now. I haven't fallen back down to the bog again yet. I'd have just called that a victory and end the stream, right? That's what I would do if I was smart. I would say, alright. So we won for tonight. It's much too early for that, though. Rhino the Dungeons of Times. I failed to beat DuckTales Remastered on extreme difficulty. I beat the final boss. I never do the escape sequence on that difficulty. It's extreme precision platforming. Has to be done in under 30 seconds. Make a single minor error. You can't make the time. Rough. I was trying to think of like something comparable where I have something where like there's something where I always trip at the end of something really tough like that. Splatterhouse 2 comes to mind, except I usually fail that in the middle, not the end. But all of my deathless challenges are kind of like that for a long time, because I get to where like I can do every part of a game in isolation just fine, but I struggle to string them all together. When you run out of lives, it's a permanent game over, and you have to restart from the beginning of the game. What? This doesn't really have anything to do with anything, but I'm wondering if there's a gap in my knowledge. Is it a common, well-known fact that it is impossible to preserve Italian sausage by freezing them? Because I've had two really terrible experiences. Well, actually I didn't have the second one, but like 2 years ago, one night / early one morning after a stream, I was really hungry, and so I wanted to make a snack. So I took some Italian sausage that we had frozen, and I thawed them, and I fried them up in a pan. But and everything seemed fine. Like, they didn't seem off. Like, maybe kind of, like, discolored. The way that meat, like, you know, like kind of like brown and gray looking. The way meat kind of tends to look after it's been in the freezer for a while. But, like, they didn't smell off or anything. But when I went to, like, when I took a bite, it was just rancid. Just absolutely horrible. Inedible. Terrible. And then earlier today, I was gonna do some grilling. And so we had some Italian sausage in the freezer. Actually, a different freezer. Different set of sausage. Bought at a different time. Frozen at a different time. In a different freezer. But I thawed them out today and I grilled them. And they were horrible. They too were putrid. I didn't even try them because I remembered the other one and I was afraid. And so I told Jelly, I said, I don't think I trust these. And she was like, she was brave enough to try it. But she took one bite, and I could see how horrible they were. Just from the one bite that she tried and then spit out. So I know it was the same experience. So it just seems to me, if you have Italian sausage, don't freeze them, because when you thaw them out and cook them, they will be putrid. And it's not like everything in our freezer went bad or anything. All the other meat's just fine. But it's Italian sausage, I don't know. Something goes wrong with it when you freeze it. But is that something that you're supposed to learn? Like, when you're just a general fact about food that you're supposed to learn, like in middle school or something, that I somehow missed? I have a sample size of 2, and I'm now convinced that it holds true for 100% of everything in existence. No, I like them like that, EpiPen. When we get them fresh, I don't have any problems with the fresh ones. But when I freeze it, it turns into trash. Are you positive it wasn't putrid before you froze it? I mean, if the odds are very seem to me to be very low that I would have that the only two bad packs of Italian sausages are the ones I happen to freeze. As I'm never, like, it's the same brand from the same store that I get all the time. And when I have them fresh, they're always wonderful. But, you know, sometimes, like, if they're on sale or something, I buy extra and put them away. But I'm never going to do that again because they come out horrible when I thawed them. Like, they weren't frozen past their date or anything like that. That I'm aware of. I mean, they could have been misdated, I guess. Or they could just been bad before their date, but I wouldn't have known because I didn't inspect them thoroughly enough, I guess. I guess it's possible, but it just seems an odd coincidence that the only two bad packs that I ever had were the two that I just happened to freeze. Did I say welcome in, Persephone? Thank you for joining us. I always thought Italian sausage was unpleasant. Maybe I always ate them after frozen, EpiPen says. I like Italian sausage. So usually what I do is usually I get a pack of Italian sausage, like spicy Italian sausage, and I get a pack of beer brats, and then I grill up some of each. So we got, you know, as a variety. And I like them both. I think they're both great. But, yeah, if I freeze them, I don't like the way they come out when I've thawed them from the freezer. I don't know what goes wrong. There's a chemical transformation. Hey, Tuesday, welcome in. I hope this brutal Monday is treating you all better than it's treating me. What's this Monday you speak of, Tuesday? I'm sorry to hear things are rough for you, my friend. I hope your Tuesday turns out much better. Why not test? Get one you know is good, cook half, freeze half. Try the other half in a day or two. Seems too risky, Zergling. I've been burned twice. I was gonna say I've been burned twice, and now I'm hesitant. But that's the thing, is I didn't even take the heat from the second burn. I was burned once. I'm once bitten, twice shy. My hero's always been James Dean. Man, that guy made sausages. We pick up that brand sometime. We pick up those, or we get the store. Just depending on what they have in stock. We get that, or there's like a store brand that seem basically like the same thing. I do like putting Italian sausage in my red sauce, EpiPen. That is a move that I do. Brats freeze and cook well, fresh or frozen. My last week at my current job. So excited for this week to be over, Jeff says. It's been a great experience. One of the worst jobs I've had these past 2 months. I'm sorry to hear that. I thought as I'd recalled, I thought I remembered that it had started out at least being really good. Went to the Great Sausage in the Sky long ago. Monday, even I am horrified by the implications, but I refuse to take responsibility for this, Tuesday said. Wow, that's a rough day indeed. Was great in the beginning, ended very poorly. I've been there with a couple of my jobs. Really good for most of the run and then gets really bad toward the end. But you have big exciting things to look forward to. Which actually the anticipation probably made it worse, right? It's like a kid waiting for Christmas to come. Start next Monday. Our friend Beller, Jeff, for those who don't know, what we're referring to here is beginning a job in Japan. I mean, he lives in Japan, has for a long time, with Capcom. He just got hired by Capcom. Very exciting. Hey Derek, welcome in. I still can't believe it myself. I'm kind of jealous, Greg says. I would have no useful skills. I would have no useful skills that I could bring to the table for a company like Capcom. I'll make you guys proud. Jeff, I wanted to ask you, so I don't really want any information, but I thought you would know, since you did a Mega Man, you did a playthrough of all the Mega Man games. I'm curious about the Mega Man Legends games. I just want to know, like, I don't really know anything about them. I just want to know whether or not you would describe them as being janky. I know they've got like at least a strong cult following. They're pretty janky. I was wondering if they're the kind of thing. I was wondering if they were the kind of things that, like, if I put them in the mix with a bunch of other janky games I was playing, if they would seem inappropriately placed. Was all I was really curious about. Beat Metroid Zero Mission tonight for the first time. Hey, GG, Derek. Zero Mission was okay. I liked it well enough. It's a little hand-holdy at the start. And I don't really like that stealth sequence at the end. That part was a major bummer for me. But I feel like I liked the rest of the game. I think that was the first Metroid game we did on the stream, if I remember right. They're better than the average trash you play, but still pretty janky. Yeah, I thought that they might be pretty. I thought there was a chance that they would be at least pretty all right, since I know they're beloved in some circles. It got tough at the end. At Zero Mission. The fondness comes from nostalgia and rose-tinted glasses for the most part. Oh no. Actually, that bodes well for me, because that might mean that they're more janky than I even expected. I like Zero Mission, but hate the linearity. I got used to the stealth near the end lately. I used to hate that too, Greg says. The stealth part was hard. My favorite Metroid game that I've played is definitely Super Metroid. And really, like... So I've played Zero Mission, Super, Fusion, and Dread. And Super is easily my favorite. And the thing is, none of the other ones are even like it. Really. I had a lot of fun with Dread. It's probably my second favorite. But... like, my goodness, like... Zero Mission and Fusion are... They felt, at least on a first playthrough, right? Super linear. And very handholdy. And Fusion, super obnoxiously so. I really, really hate how you get bossed around and bullied by that computer all the time in Fusion. Telling you, go here and do this, now go here and do that. There's no freedom and no exploration. I can't stand it. If you're, I have to, like, caveat what I say. Because if you're if you're a pro and can sequence break the game and skip around stuff, like maybe it doesn't have to be that way, but for a first time playthrough, it was really disappointing. Super is the best one to me. That being said, like that's some like that sounds like super harshly negative. I mean, like the worst day in Metroid is still better than the best day in a lot of other things. And we're speaking relatively here. But yeah, I don't like being bossed around. I don't like being bossed around by Adam. Not one bit. Well, linearity and fusion's bad for me too, Greg says. Yeah. There was a stream yesterday, Tuesday. Yeah. It was at a weird time. It wasn't our regular time, and it was kind of short notice, so I'm sorry if I killed your watch streak. I knew I was gonna do that to some people. But I really want to get into the swing of having early streams in the mix again. And Pugsley's scavenger hunt gave me a good, like, it gave me a good reason to do it. Funny thing is, there's actually a hidden Easter egg message in Fusion for trying to sequence break the game. Like a congrats or like it scolds you. No worries at all. Just sorry for missing it. Yeah, sorry I didn't have you here Tuesday. It was a pretty good stream too. I had it was a fun time being in a different slot. I mean, we still had a good chunk of our regulars. Not everybody, of course, but a good chunk of people still found it. But we had a really great run. We did a bonus playthrough of Pugsley's scavenger hunt, and I did it in 1 credit. And then we played Battletoads for a while, and both of them were actually a lot of fun. It's a congrats message. It's also crazy difficult to actually pull off. I'll probably never find it. I don't know if I'll ever play Metroid Fusion again, though. Like, Super Metroid, I definitely want to play again. Zero Mission, Fusion, and Dread, I probably won't ever play any of those ever again. I think one playthrough for a lifetime is enough. Super I'll play again, though, for sure. Metroid hurts the most when you try to do things before you're supposed to. Dread looks like it's designed to be malicious. It was pretty rough in some spots. So Dread is the only one where I found 100% of the secrets. I didn't bother with any of the rest, but in Dread we did 100% of the. I think it was a full 100% run. Got all the items in every area. That was a lot of fun. I had to have help. I had to get help with one of the secrets, though, because there's one of the game's mechanics in Dread is not taught to you very well. There's a detail about how the shine spark works, where like if you activate your shine spark, but you land on a slope, you'll continue running with your charge preserved. And I didn't know that. I had to have someone in the chat eventually help me because I didn't know that mechanic. And part of the reason I didn't know it is because apparently there's a puzzle in the game that's designed to teach you that mechanic, but I broke it and solved it a different way, so I never learned how that works. So that was unfortunate that I wasn't able to figure that out, like, internally to the game, but well. It was still a lot of fun. Those Emmys, fighting those Emmys is rough though. They're annoying. They're annoying to fight a lot of times. But they do a good job of making you, like, it does a good job of making them scary. That's a pretty cool trick. Nice work. Now go back and do it properly. Now, what a horrible thing to be told in a Metroid game. I would never do 100% in Dread. Some of the Shine Spark puzzles are too annoying. Same with Zero Mission and Fusion. Some of the puzzles were kind of tough. Some of them took me a good while, but most of them were fun to figure out. Only time I truly hated the Emmy was underwater with no gravity suit. So I'd still like to do NES Metroid. I've never completed a playthrough of that. I did start it years ago, like way before the stream. Like back in like 2016-ish. I started a playthrough, but I feel like I got about a third of the way into the game. Several times, but I've never been all the way through it. I'd like to complete that on the stream. Even back then, though, I was playing that one blind. When I drew my own map as I played, and I was playing with permadeath. Just because I hate, in the NES Metroid, I hate when you die, having to go and grind to refill your health. It's more fun to me to just restart the game and try to get better, and try to get, like, more efficient at collecting the stuff you've already found. So I was playing NES Metroid, I was playing with my hand-drawn map, and I was playing with permadeath. And I got to where I could get the suit upgrade, and I could get the high jump boots, and I could find and defeat Kraid on most attempts, but I never found Ridley. I feel like I might have got close to Ridley, but, like, I don't know. It's so big. The map is so big, and everything looks the same. But I got somewhat efficient at getting the suit upgrade and getting the high jump boots and defeating Kraid. I remember those. I remember doing those things. Puzzles aren't hard per se, but the execution is tough, Jeff says. It's one of those things where I know what I have to do, but the trouble is pulling it off. Hey, Christian Cool. Thank you for the lurk. Hope you've had a great weekend. Thank goodness I didn't miss that one again. Hey, we get to see this place again, at least for a little while. I am feeling the weight of the day on my friends. I mentioned at the start how it might be a short stream because I was feeling tired, and I'm really feeling that. I'm really feeling that now. So I don't know how much longer I'm gonna hang in there. It'd be real nice to go out with a new PB though, wouldn't it? Oh no. Oh no, that was almost real bad. Hang on, the physics of how this area works don't make any sense. It actually makes a huge difference to your jump whether you start in the water or out of the water. Like, even in areas where like you're gonna be passing through in areas where you're gonna be passing through a waterfall either way, like when you like the timing when you enter the waterfall makes a huge difference. Like a jump from here to the right and a jump from here to the right are actually pretty vastly different. Oh no, oh no. I just remembered it's almost July. I just remembered it's almost July, and I had said that I was gonna play Evil Knievel in July. Oh no. I forgot about that. uh I don't know if it was your intention, but I'm reading that as Resident Evil Knievel. As in real, okay. I was thinking just like re as in again. Like, first time it's Evil Knievel, second time it's Re-Evil Knievel. Oh my goodness. But then I just thought RE Resident Evil Knievel. Yeah, we need to do Reservoir Rat and Evil Knievel. This screen is my PB. And away we go. I've made it higher. I've made it further on that screen, but that's the highest screen I've reached in the game. The one we just fell from. I made it like 3 jumps across that screen before I fell last time we were up there. So that's pretty good, you know. That doesn't exactly tie our PB, but it's close enough. And it's a good thing I declared it to be close enough, because it might be as close as we get tonight. Don't get the yips now. All the way down. That's as far down as I can go. No. It's a condition that causes involuntary muscle spasms in the wrists of athletes during a crucial action. They left out the timing of jumps in Jump King. Well, I believe my muscles are operating as they should. My brain, on the other hand, maybe not so much. Backed out of the 2020 Olympics because of the yips. That's where I first heard about it. Goodness. These circular platforms, the thing is, because their corners are rounded, they're actually much more narrow than they appear to be, right? Because if you land on one of those rounded parts, you'll slip off. So, like, really, you can only land on the flat surface on the very top. There are situations where you have to kind of jump into the side of a platform, though, and use those slopes to, like, slide around to get up there. But, like, with your standard jumps, it's just, the thing is, like, so the actual place where you can stand is really narrower than it appears because of the rounded edges. But also, like, because all of these have, like, ears, like cat ears, like that, the cat ears obscure, like, the situation a little bit more, too, just because, like, they created the illusion of something that could, like, funnel you onto the top, but they don't actually have any collision. I don't know what my point is other than just that it's really tough. It's a really tough game, you know? Just jumping in circles around the platforms. Oh no. I got lucky there. I did the wrong jump. No. Speaking of the wrong jump, I did just jumped all the way over here, there, like I usually do. No. It's very rare. It's very rare you make the wrong jump and don't get punished for it. I know I'm not saying a whole lot. I'm kind of lost in the game. Again, that, like, drowsiness is creeping in, and if you're wondering what I'm thinking while I'm sitting here in silence, I've got the song Mr. Blue Sky playing in my brain. Is what's going on inside. I'm hearing that song in my head. Welcome in, Raiders. Angelus. Thank you for the raid, my friend. I'm gonna guess it was more Final Fantasy IV tonight. Happy belated birthday to you as well. Hope it was a fantastic stream. We've just been playing Jump King tonight. It's kind of a slow night. Got some good company, but I'm drifting off into I'm drifting off into my own brain. I'm shutting down. My my lights are going off upstairs. Well, yeah, we almost tied our PB a few moments ago, so while it hasn't been a stunning night, and I narrowly avoided a trip back to the bog, so while it hasn't been a great night, it also hasn't been a completely worthless night. At least not yet. I haven't set myself back yet, so there's good reason to be kind of happy. Thanks for the shout out. No problem. No problem. If you're not following Angelus yet, my friends, and you want to know why, you should. Angelus has been a very very kind supporter of the stream, bringing raids in all the time, and over on his channel, he will find a lot of the same kind of jank that we like to enjoy over here. Angelus is a little bit more retro PC focused, whereas we tend to be all about consoles. Angelus leans a lot heavier into PCs than we do over here. Does Doom mods and Mega Man hacks and just a really wide variety, and is certainly never afraid of games of dubious reputation. Dollar Phil, welcome in. It's like a double raid. We just had Angelus, and now Dollar Phil is here too. How did it go, my friend? What were you streaming tonight? I don't think I actually got to. I didn't get a chance to peek in earlier at what you were working on, but we'd love to hear, my friend. Another person to go and follow, Dollar Phil. Big fan of shoot 'em ups. Does marathon style programming on the stream, working his way through a couple different series simultaneously. Has been struggling with a brutal Star Soldier for a long time. He's been also playing Crash Bandicoot games, and last time I was hanging out was doing some sort of random sampling, adventuring through Game Boy games. I think, there was an NSYNC game that was the highlight of the night. I don't remember what that was called. Get to the Show or something like that. Shoutouts to our friend Dollar Phil. I made sure I didn't come in at the end. Hey, I'm happy to have you here anytime, Dollar Phil. Start of the stream, end of the stream, anytime in between. I just feel a little bit guilty when I run away and don't entertain you when you come in right at the end. But they're always happy to see you. Trying Star Soldier again. Did finish Crash. That's Crash 1 or 2 you were working on now. GG, by the way. Yeah, NSYNC was the best. I think you kind of inspired me. I'm kind of jealous. Watching you play that made me want to play something garbage, so I'm gonna pick something real bad for the stream tomorrow night. I don't know what yet, but it'll be a surprise. I'll find something that just looks terrible and we'll play it. I did. I finished Pugsley, Angelus. So I beat Pugsley on Friday night, and then yesterday I did a bonus stream yesterday afternoon. And we did a 1 credit clear of Pugsley yesterday. So I've beaten it twice. And one of the runs was really good, so I think I'm done. And I'm actually a little sad to be done with it. I'm actually a little sad to be done with it. It's a horrible game, don't play it, but I played it. I had to play it so much to beat it that I kind of started to like it. I kind of started to like it after a while. But don't play it. You have to play it for a real long time before it starts to be good. And if you aren't severely damaged like I am, that time may never come. Take NSYNC for a ride if you want. Maybe I need to let that one rest for a while so I can kind of forget what I saw. if I play that one someday, I don't want to go in with too many advantages. Thank you for the GG. That ice stage looked like torture. That ice stage is real bad. The whole game feels like an ice stage because the controls are so slippery. And then when you get to the actual ice stage, it's just impossible. Okay. I'd like at least one more run at the tower. I mean, ideally we'd make it all the way through and I get another shot at the halted ruin too. But I don't want to quit without at least trying the tower again. So let's get up there, please. I can't go on and on indefinitely tonight. I mean, one, like, I'm already like risking falling asleep on the stream because I'm getting tired. But I have a doctor's appointment early in the morning, and it'd be nice to get a little bit of sleep before going in for that. We could do better than that. That's not right. Nearing the end. Not gonna spoil it. Somebody want to play it in the future? Right on. Appreciate you holding off. Yeah, I'm not the big RPG guy, but I do wish I played at least tried to play some of the the bigger ones at some point, like reputation wise. Big ones, not like game length ones, but like the big name JRPGs, I'd at least like to have a few of them completed, right? So I have a point of reference for them. And like with Final Fantasy, I own physical copies of most of the Final Fantasy games, so it just seems like I should try to play through them at some point. They intimidate me, though. Long hours of grinding. Oh no. Hey, we're close. We might get another shot at the halted ruin. Let's go. Come on, let's get a new PB. Let's make it happen. We got a good chance. Let's make it happen. Yeah, they're like, this area is full of frozen waterfalls, and when you pass through them, your jump physics change a little bit. So it makes it real tricky to time the jumps, because you have to account for the water slowing you down. Which in my case just means I have to kind of memorize what they feel like through trial and error. Because there's no way I'm going to calculate intellectually, like, how to fix my jump. Close. Nice. So again we're here. This screen is my PB. And remains my PB. That screen is the highest screen I've seen. And I've actually made a couple of those jumps on that screen, but I've never been higher than that. That's the second time we made it up there tonight. No. Oh, way over. Oh. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. It's not over yet? It's over. Do you mind if I do a documentary about you playing this game? Net zero. We almost had a new PB. We got close. We got close there at the end. It almost happened. But yeah, this is where we're gonna leave off, my friends. I need to wrap it up. I'd love to keep going theoretically, but I am just so tired. We're gonna end a little early and call it a night here. I should be back tomorrow night. We'll play something really jank. I'm gonna look through. I'm just gonna find something licensed, something random that I think I might be able to play through in one night. We'll see how badly that bites me. So tune in tomorrow if you want to see some shovelware. And on Tuesday night, we're going to play Warlock and Super NES Battletoads. I won't be around in the later part of the week this week. But next week, we should be back to business as usual. Probably here every night, almost every night next week. See you next time. Thank you for being here, Swish. See you later. More Final Fantasy for tomorrow. Hope you get lots more good progress, Angelus. Thanks, Frownie. Thank you, Tommy. So stand by with me a moment. I'll see who is live and what they're doing. We'll raid another channel. It's always the proper way to end. Night, Frownie. Good night, Angelus. Alright, when this ad ends, I think I see where we'll go. I love the meowing and purring noises. Makes me miss having a cat. What I don't miss is the smell of the litter boxes, Angela says. I'm a big fan of cats. Alright, I'm going to send this over to Eden. Nordic Eden. I haven't caught her live in quite a while. I don't know if she's been streaming less or in a different time. She's working on Twilight Princess. So we'll head in this direction. Just a minor heads up, Eden's stream is usually louder than mine. She's a bit more excitable and animated than I am sometimes, so it might be a little bit louder in this direction. But thank you for being here, my friends. Very much appreciate you. I hope that you are well until I get to see you again. Hopefully that'll be very soon. But for tonight, that's it for tonight. It's time to head out. Let's go on an adventure.